Hey, did you know that villains have some problematic ideas? And you shouldn't want to be them? Hot take. I woke up this morning to find somebody in the year of our Sabrina Carpenter on Chapel Roan's internet saying, hey guys, I was watching The Little Mermaid with my kid this week. And you know what? When we got to the Ursula part, she said some pretty problematic stuff. She was telling Ariel that men don't actually want to hear her speak. They just want to look at her because she's pretty. That's a really problematic message to put in a kid's movie. She's the villain. She's the villain. The ship impales her in the end. What is happening to critical thinking and media literacy in this country? People are trying to respond to this woman and say, yeah, she's the villain. Her ideas are pretty problematic. And she's like, yeah, but do you think a 5-year-old knows that? Yes, there's a lot of clues in the movie that Ursula is the bad guy and you shouldn't view her as the hero. Somebody else, this is all in the last 24 hours. Somebody else went viral for saying, guys, I'm reading an Agatha Christie novel. It's pretty racist. Why is no one talking about this? There are 3 different titles for an Agatha Christie novel because we've talked about it so much in the last century. We know that books written a century ago are really problematic. Like even the most progressive person a century ago probably gonna have some stuff that doesn't hold up to today's standards. Another thread talking about how hot old Hollywood actors were brought up a gif of Marlon Brando in A Streetcar Named Desire, and somebody else said, yeah, but his character is an alcoholic abuser, and thus we should not find him attractive. It's not his character. It's not his character. Actors are not the characters they play. Those are characters. This is make-believe. Same woman who was talking about how Ursula was the villain, later on was talking about Mulan. Guys, it's a lot of movies from the 90s. I don't think that we really understood them. In Mulan, her dad tells her that women are to be seen and not heard. I think that's really problematic messaging to tell a kid. Do you know what happens in Mulan? Do you know what happens in Mulan? The emperor bows to her. The emperor of China bows to Mulan in the end. Everybody starts off the movie saying women are supposed to be pretty objects that marry a man and that's their whole life. And by the end of it, the emperor bows to Mulan. That whole idea that women are to be seen and not heard is treated as problematic. I saw another thread today saying that Peter Pan is a pedo fantasy because it's about little kids. What is happening? When did this happen? And genuinely speaking, what are we going to do about it? I was talking to some friends about this, and I have friends with kids because I'm at the age where I have friends with kids. Some of them are even like teenage kids. One of those kids came home and asked his mom, is our dad a pedophile? Why did he ask that? Because he came home convinced by his friends that anything outside of like a year age gap is problematic, and the older person's a pedophile. If a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old are in a relationship, the 18-year-old is preying on a child. They're a predator. She had to sit him down and say, honey, that could be a senior and a junior. That could be an older senior and that could be a younger junior. They could be in classes together. What are you talking about? He's like, oh. He's like, Mom, is dad a pedophile? Where are you getting this? Why are you asking me that? Because y'all are 10 years apart in age. Honey, we met when we were adults. We are full-on grown adults when we met. Nobody preyed on anybody. Another kid came home, asked his mom, Mom, why are women always trying to control men? She's like, oh, baby, we are going to sit you down and have a conversation about this. Where are you getting that? And we were talking about this, and like where all of this is coming from. And they were like, have you seen YouTube Kids TV? It is full of dog whistles. Like the conservative media, the conservative right, the people who love to book ban and all of that, the people who were like, no, all of this is problematic. You need trigger warnings to tell kids that LGBT content is in books and stuff like that. Like all of that, those people started on social media a decade or more ago. They got in on kids programming, they got in on YouTube, they got in everywhere and have slowly been convincing an entire generation of young people, and I guess some of their parents or older siblings or something, of all of this nonsense. And now there's just a whole generation of kids with these weird purity standards and weird moral leanings. And it's like genuinely asking, what are we doing about any of it? Like, what do we do? It was slow, it was insidious, but I mean, 10, 20 years, that's a generation. Is it just, that's just how society is going to be now? Is that just what it is? This is wild to me. Wild to me. Where is the critical thinking? Where is the media literacy? Like, is this all just because like a whole generation of kids got mad that somebody was told the cup was blue, and when they said, well, it's blue because it's blue, and they were told, well, let's think deeply, like they were just mad about that, and they were like, well, no, we don't need any of this media literacy. We don't need any of this critical thinking. That's all bad. You're telling me I'm stupid and I should never be told I'm stupid or something. Like, I don't know, like where did this come from? And genuinely asking, what is anyone doing about it? Like, what do we do about it? What do we do about it? This is terrifying. This is terrifying to me. I mean, just the last 24 hours, every time I open up social media, I'm like, what, where, why, and how? Villains are the bad guys. Even villains that might have a good point if you look at it from a certain perspective, go about doing things in a bad way, in a villainous way. You're not supposed to think that what they say is pure and unproblematic. I wish I knew what to say here, because this is scary. Thank you, goodbye.